So, Lone Rider here, and just wanted to touch on something really briefly, really quickly, and that is cycling shoes. Now, there's various different types with various different types of interface with the pedals. Um, Shimano SPD, Look cleats, and a variety of other things. Um, I tend to use Look on road bikes when I'm not using toe clips and pedals with straps, and when I'm using my mountain bike nowadays, I tend to use platform pedals, and they do make shoes that are specifically designed for that. I have a pair; they just have a very stiff sole and a kind of sticky tread. Um, but you can use regular shoes in them, obviously. Just not as comfortable because they flex a little more. Um, if you're going to be just riding with platform pedals and you're not doing anything particularly, you're just riding around town, regular shoes, fine. Just get something that's nice and stiff, as stiff as you can. For toe clips and straps, to me, it's important that you have something where you don't have a lot of aggressive tread on the bottom because it will tend to get stuck, especially if you have any knobs on the sides on the toe clip or the strap. Um, and then obviously these, are their own type of thing. Generally speaking, when it comes um, to bike shoes, the sizing is weird, at least for us Americans. I mean, these are marked. I don't know if you can see that in there. These are marked 44 wide. Now I wear either a 9.5 or a 10 wide, but the equivalent is either a 43 or a 44 in European sizing. So, you kind of have to get used to looking for, well, what's that in the other measurement. Um, I guess for European people, it's not a problem. And the main thing I wanted to talk about, of course, was the maintenance of the cleats. Shimano SPDs have metal cleats, and they don't wear all that much. They do eventually wear, but not as much as the plastic ones. The plastic Look type cleats, and these I think are the Look Keo cleats, they get pretty beat up anytime you do any kind of walking on pavement. And so one of the things that I noticed was when I was looking at these are at the end of their useful life. Okay, they're dead essentially. And what needs to be done is the cleat needs to be unscrewed, removed, thrown away, and replaced with a cleat that's not all chewed up, right? It's important that you do this sooner rather than later. I have a tendency to wait longer because, well, these things cost money. And frankly, it's always like, well, I have another bike. I have a bike with toe clips and straps. I have a bike with, I'll just use that instead. And then, of course, when I want to use the bike that has pedals for these, you know, bleep out of luck, right? So don't wait until they're so worn out that they're dangerous and you have a risk of your foot pulling out and losing control of the bike. Replace them as soon as they get chewed up like this. That said, there is an advantage to using Look pedals in particular of all the other types of clipless pedals that I've ever seen. With the possible exception of some SPD pedals do have they're offered in a configuration where one side has the Shimano SPD clip-in part and the other side is a platform pedal. And I actually do have a pair of those on one of my bikes. But except for that, the only kind of what they call clipless pedal, so where you have the special shoes with the cleats that interface with it, that I really think is suitable for use in regular, let's say, sneakers, is the Look cleats. And I've gone for 5, 10, 15-mile rides on a bike with Look pedals, in loafers, in sneakers, not necessarily with the proper cleats because the pedal is as big as the cleat, so you have a fairly large flat surface that you can put your foot on, and it does kind of work like a oddly shaped platform pedal. So I've done that. You know, when the cleats are worn out. Would it be advisable if you were going on, like a fast road ride? Probably not, but it can be done, and that's because essentially the shape and the layout of the pedal. If you look at some of the other pedals, speed plays, for example, have this little bitty round pedal, and then this ginormous mechanism on the bottom of the shoe that interfaces with it. The problem with those is that the pedal itself is about the size of a quarter, maybe a 50-cent piece. I can't imagine, a friend of mine was showing me a really cool old road bike that had these pedals on it. It was an old bike, was way older than the pedals. He had, it was from the 1980s, and he had put the pedals on there. But he goes, "Oh, you got to test this." It was a classic Italian lug steel something or other, and you got to try this out. And I was like, "Okay, cool." I mean, I like bikes. I like old bikes, and I really like lug steel bikes. So I said, "Let me give it a try." And yeah, if you're gonna just ride a bike around the block just to get an idea for how it handles, you can do it on the speed plays, but yeah, I wouldn't go any further than around the block riding speed plays and sneakers. It's just not. I mean, think about it. The pedal's this big and it's completely smooth and doesn't have any traction. Does that sound safe? No. It's designed only for the interface with the mechanism on the bottom of the shoes. So, I mean, my take on these is, they really help over long road rides. They really are more comfortable, more efficient. Beyond that, I would say if you want one that does offer you the options of using it with regular shoes, go with looks. That's not what they're designed for, but it does make it possible. So, and again, make sure to change out your cleats before they look like this, because nobody wants worn out cleats. Lone Rider, out.